Hey everyone, it's Manal Khalif. I am a stress and emotions coach at manalkhalif.com. I just wanted to make a quick video for you. I just got back from the gym and I had a bunch of life lessons show up at the gym today. I was taking a class called Body Shred, which is, yes, as painful as it sounds. And while I was there, the class was about to start. I was speaking to this lady about how I didn't want to come to class, how, I was trying to talk myself out of it and telling myself, no, I'm too tired and I don't really want to do that much work today. And she said to me, oh no, I'm so glad you came. She's like, what, the time's going to pass anyway. And I said, yeah, you're right. And it's only half an hour and whatever. It's a very high intensity class and there's no breaks. And so while we're doing this class, I'm just like working so hard, harder than I've ever worked. And every little bit, the trainer would say, okay, only 10 more seconds. And then it's just like, oh, it's like you reach the point where you're just like, okay, I literally cannot do it anymore. Like I can't. And she would say 10 more seconds. And I'm like, okay, 10 more seconds. Like I could do anything for 10 more seconds. And, so we're doing through the movements and I'm just like, okay, I reached a point where it's just like, I'm so tired and I just want to stop. And, I was just like literally crawling to get to the next movement or the next phase of the class. Like there were literally points where I was crawling to get there. And at a certain point we had to do this like really weird movement and I'm doing it and I'm going, am I doing this right? And just like you get all these voices in your head and I'm just like looking around and I'm going, everybody is wondering if they're doing it right. Like no one's looking at me. No one's wondering, what the heck she's doing. It's like everyone's doing their own thing. And there are moments because it's so intense and it's just like, it feels like, it's like everything burns and everything hurts. And, there's moments where I go, I can't do this. Like, I'm just going to stop. Like, what's the big deal? I'm just going to stop. But I didn't. And, it's just like, as soon as the teacher sees someone stop, she's like, keep moving. Like, you don't have to do the same movement, but keep moving. And so from this experience, like, it's so exhilarating. It's like, at first, like I said, I was very terrified, but now I kind of see like, okay, I can get into this and I know I can see that it's going to get me results a lot faster. But there are 5 lessons that I learned from my class today and all of my, my thoughts. I tend to, be very analytical and, I have like all these thoughts come to mind. But the very first one is that the time will pass anyway. So that's lesson number 1, is that, either you can sit and complain or you can get up and do something. That time is going to pass anyway. And it's such a good reminder because a lot of times, we'll sit and we'll complain or we'll sit and we'll worry about the outcome of something coming up. And it's like, okay, so those 30 minutes are going to pass anyway. So if you have like a speech that you're going to be giving or you have, a job interview coming up, it's like, okay, the 30 minutes before or the hour before or whatever it is, I could spend it worrying. I could spend it complaining. I could spend it, or I could spend it preparing, or I could spend it, in meditation, or I could spend it in, playfulness, or it's like you get to choose. That time is going to pass anyway. So that's my first lesson. The next lesson is the only 10 more seconds. And this lesson is about, reaching that point where you're just like, I literally cannot do it anymore. And when you reach that point, tell yourself only 10 more seconds. It's not threatening. It's not forever. It's, clearly defined. And it's like, I can do anything for 10 seconds. Anybody can do anything for 10 seconds. And so the next lesson is that, sometimes you're going to crawl. You're not going to always follow the same pace that everyone else is following. You're not always going to be, as smart as someone or as successful. And you're not always going to be, next to them, on this journey. Sometimes you're going to crawl. Sometimes you are going to go slower. Sometimes you are going to need to take a breather, but don't stop moving. Okay. So the next lesson is that no one's watching. Honestly, nobody cares. Even for myself, I was so worried about doing videos and I'm just like, people are going to judge me and whatever. And it's like, honestly, nobody cares. It's like you look around and it's like everybody's doing their own thing anyway. And everybody's worried about what they look like and everybody's wondering if they're doing it right. They're too busy to be worrying about whether or not you're doing it right. So that's the 4th lesson. And the last lesson is when you reach the point where you say, I can't do this, just say to yourself quickly, I am already doing this. And you'll